All right, so look, one thing I wish I would have knew before I started driving trucks, before I entered the CDL program at Central Piedmont Community College, the first thing I wish I would have knew was I wasn't gonna get rich. That was the first thing I should do. The first thing I wish I would do is when I first started out, I wasn't finna make $1,700, $2,000 a week and things of that nature. That's the top thing I wish I would have knew. And I wish I would have knew that dispatchers can play games with you. But the number one thing I wish I would have knew was that I wasn't gonna come in making $2,000 a week. Now granted, as I moved forward in my career, I was making that, especially at CR England on a Dollar Tree account. CR England gonna pay you $2,500 a week, easy and flat. But you're gonna work for it, baby. You're gonna work for it. But CR England gonna pay you. It took a while for me to get some money. You guys know I started off at Western Express. And man, when I tell you those $200, $300 checks was kicking my ass, they had me sitting. I wasn't moving like that. Nobody really messed with Western Express like that because they're a trashy company. They have the moniker of Welfare Express out here in the trucking street. So that's one thing I wish I'd have knew off the gate, off the rip, was that coming in the trucking, I was going to make some sacrifices. I wasn't going to make the money that I saw everybody else making from the beginning. But the good thing about it is, the more your time increases, the more longevity you have in this career, the more money you get to ask for, the more money you can expect. You know, adding on more endorsements will increase your money, things of that nature. It's a lot of things that can make your money grow. Tanker, hazmat, doubles, triples. But even then, when you're coming in with those endorsements, when you're coming into those new companies, you got to start from the bottom. You got to start at night shift. You know what I mean? Everything comes with its with this bull crap, so to speak. You know what I mean? But is it all worth it whenever you're done? Of course it's worth it when you're done, because you got a solid career. You know, where else can you go? What other job could you take? Could you obtain that 6 weeks after you going to get the certificate, now you've been catapulted into, so to speak, all of this money? Because let's be real about it. Once you get your time up and things like that, you're gonna make some money as a truck driver. If you ain't making money like that as a truck driver, it's probably you. Probably something you're doing wrong. Because you're gonna make the money, that's for sure. But you just gotta have your seniority, you gotta put the time in, things of that nature. Once you do that, baby, the sky is the limit. You understand me? Ain't nothing you ain't gonna be able to do. So I would say just keep that in mind. That's the first thing I would have knew when you came in. Don't let the little bit of money that you get from the beginning deter you and make you quit. Because I've heard a lot of people say, I'm going back home, I don't want to do this, I ain't doing this, I ain't making no money. You got to give it time, baby. A lot of people come in and look at people who've already been in for a while, and they think, oh, this is what I want to do, I'm going to get this money. They making money, but you don't know what these people had to go through to get here to get this money. You don't know how much time they had to put in to get this money. You don't know